Hey there! Welcome back to Sailing Rome. Last time we took you on a fun detour to the Annapolis Boat Show and showed you some of our favorite vendors and products. But now it's time to dive back into our refit. If you're new to our channel, let me fill you in. We pulled the boat out of the water, cleared everything out, and took down the entire rig, including the mast, boom, and all the other bits and bobs. We've also already tackled some of the messiest tasks, like getting rid of the waste hoses. That's the quick version, but it took us weeks to get here. Now we're ready to prep the engine rooms for a makeover, so let's dive on in. I'm Jerry.
And I'm Sean. Come along on our real-life adventures as we explore the world and boat life on our sailing catamaran Rome.
Now let's jump back into the episode and see what's going on.
The plan is to repaint the bilges. To do that, we have to get them cleaned and sanded. So first step was empty. That's all done. Second step, clean. This might take the rest of our lives. It's so filthy down here. Makes me kind of wonder if we can't just sand away the disgusting filth. I'll have to ask Sean about that later. That would be easy.
It is over 90 degrees, the humidity is insanely high, and we are still tearing this boat apart. Well, okay, we're not really tearing it apart. We are cleaning. We're in the engine rooms. We're trying to get the grease and oil out, and it is an absolute shit show. There's just been no sense of, hey, let's wipe up oil. No, let's just leave it for the next guy, whoever that is. And hey, that's us. Hey, here we are. So we've gone after it with Simple Green a little bit and decided that it actually needs a little bit more oomph. So we are rolling to our good friend, Mr. Pressure Washer. And we're going to load some, Dawn of all crazy things. And we're going to roll that right through the pressure washer and spray that right into the engine rooms and see if we can combat some of this grease, because it is just a friggin' mess. All right, so Jerry's been in here and scrubbing with our good friend Simple Green and the scrub brush, and it actually looks pretty good. It's so much friggin' work to get this done. Down on the floor, you can see where the generator was, and I don't know if the pressure washer is going to get any of that or not, but it's all going to get sanded anyway, so I'm not worried about it. Fresh white paint's going to go in here. It'll be great, but you can't really see, except maybe you can see that right there, that nasty looking water, and then all up around here in the shade where you can't see it. I'll move in maybe. This whole area down here is just nasty water, so I got to get the water out, and I'm going to pressure wash the sides all through here and see if maybe we can get this thing cleaned up a little bit more. But right now, this is actually not nearly as bad as I expected. I think Jerry did a lot more than she said. As you can see, there are just a ton of holes drilled all over different parts of this boat. Since we're redoing a lot of this, I don't want to leave us in a situation where we have all these holes that have simply been left open. So I'm going to be drilling these out a little bit larger and filling them with epoxy. Big ones are going to get plugs with epoxy around them. The little ones are just going to get over drilled and filled with epoxy and then smoothed over. The other thing is, this is a bulkhead that goes through to under our bed, and there are hoses and wires, all kinds of stuff that go through there. And that wasn't watertight. That needs to be watertight. And so I'll be redoing that with watertight bulkhead fittings so that anywhere we have hoses or wires going through, there's no place for water to go in and flood that if we end up getting a big leak back here. After several hours of drilling and vacuuming, I have a lot of holes that are ready for filling. And so I have thickened epoxy and a caulking gun. Just like that. If I had a longer, skinnier tube, I think that would do a great job, but I don't have anything like that. It's also probably a good idea to leave these a little bit full, so then when we sand them off, we've already got them a little bit high or a little proud. I'm down in the engine room again today. We've been cleaning things up. It's been going great. We did a bunch of drilling out some holes, put some epoxy in them, but I'm looking at where the sail drive mounts to the bottom of the hull, and I'm finding something really interesting. I'm not sure why we have this, but I'm going to try to figure out how to fix it. All right, so this is where the engine mounts and the sail drive mounts and goes through the hull. So this area here, we have motor mounts that attach here to attach the engine. And then back here, we have this big hole that goes through the hull. And the sail drive leg hangs down there, and it mounts around this flange. And so all of these are bolt holes. Now the interesting thing is, this is hollow. And in the holes, there's a bunch of really, really nasty water. I don't know how the water got in there, and it is something that I definitely don't like. So I'm going to try and get the water out. Now, these are the only holes that we have to get anything out of there. So I have this really small little tube. And since I think this is the deepest spot, I'm going to put that guy in there. And then I'm going to attach a shop vac, a wet dry vac, and try and suck all the water out and see how that goes. So let's see what happens here. We're going to put this little hose in the big hose. It should create enough vacuum to get the water out. So let's see what happens here. Oh, that's pretty nasty. We got a long ways to go. I'm going to dump that and keep going. All right, let's have another look, see what we have this time. Seriously, how much water can fit in that space? This is just ridiculous. It is so gross. God, it smells horrible. Glad we don't have smell-o-vision. All right, one more dump. I think we're done.
I'm kind of excited. It's time to start sanding. I feel like this is actually moving us forward, not just tearing stuff apart. So I've got to get dressed. Got my dust mask, my eye protection, and my lovely Tyvek suit so that I don't wind up covered in fiberglass dust or paint dust or any other dust. The only thing I forgot was to bring closed shoes. So I'm going to be barefoot this time around. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just wear the sandals. Regardless, my feet will be itchy, but it's better than my whole body being itchy. All right, let's get dressed. Air. Yikes. All right, back to it. It's really hot. And Shawn bought us a new tool, which is the Festool orbital sander that attaches directly to the vacuum cleaner. And it works pretty well, doesn't create very much dust. So I'm giving up on the Tyvek suit because I'm pretty sure I've just lost 15 pounds of water weight. Maybe I should keep it on. No, I'm gonna take it off. Okay, so Shawn is a big fan of using the right tool for the job. Thanks to Sailing Dauntless, we've been introduced to Festool, and we are convinced, he is convinced? No, we are convinced that the right tool for the job will make all the difference. He also bought what he thought was going to be great, which were these sanding discs that are screens, but they won't stick. I've gone through a pile of them and they just won't stick to the sander. So as a result, we are back to your standard sanding discs, which seem to be doing much better, and only about 3/4 of an engine room's worth of frustration to get there. But now I think I'll be more efficient because I won't have to change out that stupid screen every 5 seconds because that was getting really, really frustrating. So if anybody is looking at buying sanding screens instead of sanding paper, I don't recommend it. Sanding attempt ×2. The last time I tried to use these little screens, they just wouldn't stick. So we checked in with some of the Festool user groups, and they said to purchase it's like a pad that goes underneath it. We'll see if it actually helps. Well, as you saw with my sanding, my unsuccessful sanding, we're having a tool problem. We have tried to get what is commonly known as the best tools.
The best sander in the world. Festool is it's just supposed to be a great sander. And the sander feels really nice. But the damn paper won't stick no matter what we do.
It just won't stick. And it's not something that's typical that we can just pick up or order quickly or whatever.
This isn't for sale at the local hardware store or Home Depot. It's more specialty, which complicates things. So we're back to the Home Depot, and we're going to look for a couple of average sanders, I guess. I don't even know.
Something so we can do the job. I know it'll be messier. It'll be heavier.
It'll be harder on our hands from the vibration. It'll be louder.
But at least we can do it.
Get the job done. Let's go see what we can find.
Team Red?
I don't know. Milwaukee's been pretty good, but for sanders, I've always had rigid. And so the Festool was a change from rigid, and rigid's always worked really well. Oh, we got lots of sanding. Look at all this. Yeah, now we're in business.
Hey, rigid for the win. All right, I'm diving back into the engine room for sanding take 3. Maybe it's sanding take 4. I don't even know. This material is thickened epoxy, so we are moving on to, this is the fen saw? Oscillating saw? Is that the same thing? Shoot. Well, whatever it is, moving on to this bad boy in an attempt to take it down far enough that I can actually sand it even.
I don't think I can count how many days we've been working on sanding these engine rooms, but I feel like we're actually getting really close. And I, for one, will be very happy to move on to a different task. I guess I'm just not very focused. I have a hard time staying on one thing for too long, so I'm ready for something else.
For now, I'm going to let this be done.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of our refit, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell. Join us next time when we remove all the hardware from the mast, boom, and davits. It's not as easy as it sounds. See you soon. Bye!